It's William with the Riverstone Life, and you've been following the videos that I've been putting out this last week. Out here doing my 4-peat. I'm within 19 miles away from my delivery. I'm actually going to be early because this place you have to have an appointment, so I'll talk about that in the next video when I actually deliver this thing. But right now we're going to talk about good numbers and bad numbers because this is a good number. This is a really good number in my opinion. But I've had bad numbers doing this, and I've had other people reach out to me and they're like, William, I don't always make that happen what you're doing. And then I find out that they're running different areas, running south, running out east with all the traffic, all the headaches, all the stuff. The jobs pay less. Everybody argues that fuel prices down south are cheaper. Well, that doesn't really work if you filled up somewhere else and you have a lot of fuel storage. Sometimes that doesn't benefit you at all, and depending on when you're there and how packed up the truck stops are, and you don't want to deal with it. So in my opinion, I think them paying cheaper to go south is a joke. That's why I don't try to go south. I always try to go west because the extra little bit of fuel that I'm going to pay, I make up with faster speed limits, less people on the road, less headaches. I'm less stressed. So that's why I go out west. But also this job pays by the mile, and I keep throwing this in the videos. It pays by the mile. If you're not making no money, you're not putting no miles on. There's an argument. What about all your deadhead miles? Well, if you're not writing all them deadhead miles off and everything the government allows you, then you're not making money. These are all the things. This is the people that succeed in this. So if you think I'm bringing people in here that can't succeed, then what about all the ones that have succeeded? The ones that don't talk about this, don't have YouTube channels, but have been doing it for 15 years. I see them on the road all the time. They're out there kicking butt because they figured it out, just like I figured it out. Everybody figures it out a little different for themselves. But let me just talk about numbers once, because this is good numbers. These are really good numbers that I feel for the amount of work I did. And I'm refreshed. I'm actually tired from I did a reset. I was like 2 hours short of this, and I seen it was coming that way. So I positioned myself so that I was able to get it where I could actually start my reset, get up early in the morning and drive and get this thing. The people that make this trim every second on their logs, keeps them legal, but doesn't waste any time. Sets those resets up when they can. Don't run it all the way down just to get all that 70 hours. Figure it out where you can make your delivery when they're closed, when they're open, the hours, the times. All that stuff plays into effect. Working that reload before you even get to your delivery. If you can't get it, get a hold of your dispatcher. Yes, dispatchers are hard to get a hold of. I know what you people are going through. I deal with it. I've been out here and I can't get a hold of a dispatcher. It won't let me self-dispatch it because I have a load on board and I'm not in a 250-mile radius because I've drove past where the delivery, where you can pick a load up at, basically, and it didn't come out on the board. Otherwise, I could have grabbed it earlier, but then it comes out later. I deal with all those frustrations too, but I have the mentality when I go out here, I'm going to go out here. If I go all the way out here as far as I can go, it pays like $3,900. It used to pay 40 some when they were paying better at $1.95. Now it pays $3,800, $3,900. In my mind, I know I got $3,900, and that might be all I got. And I might have to drive back all the way to Indiana, put all those miles on the truck, and then take away the expenses. And I'll talk about that later in the video because I'll tell you what that is. I'll give you what that number is when you do that, when things don't work out for you. And then you have to do that twice, and then you can get an idea, and then you can do it 4 times. On a bad month for me is when I just pull 4 of those loads out. I get those 4 loads done. That's my bad month, and that's my number. It's what it is. I put 20% back. The rest of it's what I got to survive on. And when I come out here, like the last 2 weeks, last time I came out, I did 2 reloads, and I went back, grabbed it, did it all over again. This time I come out, and I'm doing 4 loads. Am I going to leave and go back right away? I don't know. I'm hoping today that a load pops up. There was one going to California, Los Angeles. I didn't want to do it. I could have had another reload. I waited. It might have been a mistake. I told myself it was still there tonight, nothing came through, or tomorrow morning, then I would grab it. So I might have made a mistake. But these 4 loads from going from Indiana all the way out. Now you guys going, did you deduct for your truck payment? Well, you can't just deduct your expenses off one trip. Well, you can, and then at the total, when you have your how many trips you have at the end of the month, you still come up with the same number. I do this in the videos because to break it down, it's simple to break it down. At the end of the month, I can tell you what I made at the end of the month. I can tell you what they paid me. That's real simple too. But this is just to give you an idea. If you're going to take on this job, you're a new referral, you want to do this job, you come out here, you spend a bunch of money, you're like, I got to get some of my money back. What do? Well, you go out here and you get $30-some hundred for your first load, and you hope that you have that luck and you get a reload. Also, these reloads are certain times of the year is when they're the best. What I've learned in 18 months. Why do you think I'm working right now in September and October and November? The best time to get these reloads out here is now. What is the struggle of doing this? I'm dealing with snowstorms coming up. I'm trying to get as many in and then decide if I want to take that chance and, go that way when that snow is going to come and hope there's no chain loss. When I tell you got to be a gambler, or like I used to say in my videos, an outlaw, because an outlaw just doesn't worry about that shit, just in my opinion. That's what I mean by that stuff. When I mean by luck, that's what I mean by luck. Not about, William gets all these referrals and people, Wave gives him loads that they don't give others. That's not true. So many times that I miss so many loads and I can't get a hold of anybody just like you. So keep that stuff in mind. Watch the videos. Don't just read the title and look at the thumbnail and move on. Watch the whole video. Also, another thing I want to throw in here, because there's people out there that use my videos, go through the stuff, don't use my name, have problems, or they use somebody else's name that they don't get no help from, and then reach out to me and want me to help you. Well, if I'm not busy, I will. But the more referrals I have, the more people I have in my group, the harder it is and the harder it gets. And then I don't have time, and then you feel like, I wasn't there to help you out, and that's not true. You weren't there to help me out because you didn't use my name for the referral. The referral is actually paying me that money. So if you don't, want to pay me that money, then that's fine. Pay it to somebody else. Somebody needs to get that because Wave offers that. And if you don't use somebody's name, that's more money that Wave gets to keep. Everybody complains that Wave don't pay us enough. So we all have to, get extra money wherever we can. And I'll show you how to make a little extra money doing the same thing that I do and help you out any way I can. That's what I do with my referrals. But also, I used to have a Facebook page and I let everybody in that, and it turned into a shit show in my opinion. There's a lot of negative people out there that don't succeed in this, or they don't want me bringing other people in. There's a mentality out there that's the way it is. The more drivers, then there's no loads, and there might be some truth to that sometimes. But overall, I don't feel that that's the way it goes. That's just my opinion. All these videos are my opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like William. You don't have to like Robin. You don't have to like this channel. You don't have to watch it. Okay? That's just the hard truth. But if you do, and you use my name, and you follow through with everything, then there's some benefits to you. Sorry, I'm in an area that I've never been before. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm in the right lane. This is Washington. There's bad traffic up here. It's tight. You're kind of on an island. Yeah, one place I do not want to go down the wrong road. So, probably not the right place to do a video, all right? But I do this so much that I'm always talking to somebody. I might as well talk to you. But we got rid of our other Facebook pages and all that stuff. But I decided, you know what? I want all my referrals to be able to talk to them all together. All of them together, me, everything. They want to throw something out there. It's another benefit for using my name that you get from my referrals, because I have 200 referrals. I sent out 150 text messages in the last few days, and 75 or 80 of them have already reached back. I've opened up a group on WhatsApp. And you're wondering, why'd you pick WhatsApp? The reason I picked WhatsApp is because it'll go bigger than, if more people get into that over years times or whatever. People go in and out of this, but they still like to have their opinion. They still like to help other people out. If I had over 200 people, some of these groups, you get them too large in like Messenger and stuff like that. It will not let me add everybody to it. Then I'd have to start another one. I don't want to do that. Plus, I have a lot of people out there that are retired truck drivers and stuff, and they hate Facebook. So they're not even on Messenger or any of that stuff. But this app is free, either on Android or iOS, so you could just download it. Once I send you the link, you just tap on it, go in there and set up your picture and set up your stuff. It's that simple. You throw your picture and your name out there. Everybody that's in that group gets to see who you are. So if we meet you out there on the road somewhere, we know each other, okay? Let's say one of my new referrals is out there having a problem. A lot of them are, I don't know, they hold back because they think they don't want to bother me because they know how much I'm working, how many videos I'm making, all the stuff I'm doing, and they'll hold back, and then they'll go and ask somebody at Wave in the yard, one of the yards or something, that's not one of my referrals, and they're treated badly because some of them people have that mentality, or they help them and then they call Wave like a tattletale and tell on them that they didn't know what they're doing. It's not that they didn't know what they were doing. They're hooking up a fifth wheel. I had older fifth wheels. They were nothing like these new fifth wheels. That up and down button, these new ones, sometimes a control box, it doesn't make it that easy for people to figure out. Plus, it's not even that. They just came out of a 2-day orientation. They've had all this stuff pumped into them. They're overwhelmed. So give them a break. And people like that, I just can't stand. So I wanted this group so that when those people come into it, I'm working, I can't grab my phone because safety first, but one of my other referrals is out there and he sees it come across and he's able to help them. But that's not the only thing this is for. Like right now, I'm going into this place that I've never delivered before. There might not be any place to park. It's already a pain in the butt calling them. That's another video. They're not even open the days they say they're open. This is a lot of information that makes this job hard that people just don't know about. Well, when you're my referral, you know about it. And you're thinking, well, I work for Wave, I'll just call Wave. Well, ask the people out there how that works. Can you get a hold of Wave? Yeah, on a slow day, you can get a hold of Wave. Can you leave them a voicemail? Yeah, sometimes you might not hear from them until the next day. They're at lunch, you can't get a hold of them. You're not their problem once you take that load. It's your problem to get it there and get it done. And you need all the tools that you can to make that happen as easy as possible. That's what you get with William Sikora and the Riverstone Life and all the people that I have out there that I help that are helping you. We've got a big community. That's the difference between us and other YouTube channels out there that are trying to get you, with a gas card or whatever, or, making fun of the YouTube Riverstone Life just to get you to bring you over, to grab a hold of you, to get a few bucks and then forget about you. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a community that we can help each other. If you break down across the road here, I might not know for a while because I'm doing a delivery. It might take you a while to get a hold of Wave and for them to get that load up there and get it on the board for one of us to come and help you. Well, you're one of my referral guys. You just you just type right away, guys, I'm down in this area. I'm down. My truck's going to be out. We already got an idea where you're at and what you're doing. So we might be able to just, hey, I'm pretty close to him. I'm going to go and help him out. And then I might grab your load and get it finished and make a little bit of money too. Or I might be able to just help you out and fix your problem and keep you going. Or one of the other guys you see what I'm saying? You're talking 9 months into this year. 9 months in this year, I have 150 new referrals. Are all of them still working here? Probably not. Probably 125. A lot of them reached out. So, yeah, some of them are part-timers. Some of them just do it at certain times of the year. You're going to notice in this business, some people don't work the winters. That's why I always had work. Is this a seasonal job? It could be a seasonal job if everybody worked every day of the week, all year long. But since a lot of people just work it when they want to work it, the reason I promote it in the first place is because that's what the job's about. Doing it when you want to do it, or sometimes, certain times of the year, you need to do it to make the money and put the money back for the slow times. New people have figured that out now, since this year we had a bigger slow time than we ever have since I've been here. So I don't know everything, but within 3 or 4 more years, and the group of people that I have, there won't be much that we ain't able to take care of and handle and help somebody out really quick if we have that little tool that you can just type it in. Hey, I'm going to this place. Anybody ever been here? Is there something I should know? might have 10 other guys say this, you're already heads up. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm in that group. Robin's in that group. So if you want to talk to Robin, you can talk to Robin. Robin will help you out when I can't help you out, when I'm driving, when I don't even know you're messaging. Sometimes people say they don't get my help. It's because I'm out unloading, loading, fighting snow, weather, all that kind of stuff. You never know. And people expect you, and they send you a text, they think you're supposed to answer them right that second. I usually do if I can, but sometimes I can't. Could you imagine if you're sending that text out there and there's another 150, maybe next year 250, 350, 500 of the Riverstone Life's referrals out there all working together to make it a little easier for us. That's what that's all about. So if you made it this far, now I'll show you some numbers, because that's how I get you to watch my videos, because what happens is, you know, the only thing you want to hear about is money. And I guess that's because of the economy and the way life is right now. Show me the money, like Jerry Maguire says. All these loads together, I billed $5,844.41, okay? After fuel expenses, food, whatever I bought, it had something to do that I was able to just take it off this money right away. For this whole 8 days or whatever the hell it is now, is $4,508.01. That's what was left over. Did I take my truck payment out of that? No. Did I pay any taxes out of that money? No, because I have to throw this in the video. Yes, this is the money just for this 8-day run out here that I'm still working, that I'm going to turn it probably into 15 days is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I can show you what you can make in that first half month and then take the rest of the half month off. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm out here at the right time. I'm out here when I think I'm at the right time, but there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. So don't think you're going to get it in the RV transport business. I put 20% back. My fund's growing. If you've been watching my videos, I put 20% back for a long time. And it's really growing. So after the 20% was put back, I got $3,606.40 approximately. So that's what I got. Okay. That's my money left over. Now, if I have a house payment, I got to make my house payment out of that. If I don't have a house payment, I got to make my truck payment. Still got money left over. I only worked 8 days. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Now, it's what I put back for my 20% was $902. Now, let's talk about a bad trip. Because did I have some this year? Yeah, when I come out west, and I don't know, when I got back to work in June, or maybe no, it was in July, August, when people were sitting in Indiana with no work at all, and I was able to get a load because I was ahead of the game. I emailed, I called, I talked. I would call anybody that would talk to me. I think my dispatcher wasn't even my dispatcher, because Kathy's very busy, because I think she actually is in charge of that department. So sometimes it's hard if you have Kathy as your dispatcher. So try one of the other people. And they got me a load going out west. In my mind, I said, I'll take the farthest thing you got, because I already knew. I mean, that's why I went to California, places I didn't want to go this at the slow time. I did not want to go, but I knew that it paid as close to $4,000, because that might be the only money I get my hands on. Does it make sense? I hope this stuff makes sense, because I had a new referral reach out to me the other day, and he goes, you know what, well, I've watched every YouTuber out there, and he goes, you know what, you make sense. He goes, it's that simple. Some of these guys are just ridiculous. He goes, but you make sense. You make it as simple as possible. So I drove out there. The job paid $3,980 at that time, because I think it was still $1.70 a mile. It wasn't $1.67 or whatever it is now. So that was the most I got out of that. And I started driving back. I didn't really waste no time, because I just had a feeling there was no reloads popping up. Nothing was popping up, and if it was so far away that I could go and drive to Indiana better and get the full dollar amount instead of $1.45 or $1.55, and taking me way over that way, then taking me farther that way, and then when I drove back, I was going to have even more deadhead miles and more fuel expenses. So it takes me, when I go out there and do that job, if there's no wind, everything plays, it's $600 and some for fuel. So in my head, I round off $700. Same with driving back. This truck gets, 22, 25. I've gotten 27. It just depends. No wind, driving the perfect speed. Sometimes it just works out. So I know in my head, $300 right there. So right then and there, I go, this job paid $39.80. Let's just say I take $1,000 off. I got $29.80, and then I'll take off my 20%, and you know what's left. If you don't, just get your calculator out. Just take $29.80, take 20% off for my truck fund. But you know what? My truck fund is there. If the truck don't break down, I can buy a new truck. But every month that this truck goes longer, you're making your payment. And if you purchased your truck right and put a good down payment and you got a higher payment so you can pay it off quicker, the truck might pay off before it breaks down, before you touch the emergency fund over here. Then just go buy another truck, write everything off again, and now you've got this big savings account for a major emergency, your health, whatever happens, you've got to walk away from this job. That's the best scenario. The worst scenario is that money you took back, you're putting a new motor in your truck, you're still paying on that truck. We all have bad luck. I don't know, I can't make this any more simpler than that. So now, you saw what I made for that week. I drove all the way back to Indiana, and now by the time I got there, I didn't even use up, because it's pretty much, I don't know, 30, but with your, let's just guess at this, but it's a 20 some hour, 30 hour drive, 32 hour drive, depending how far you're going. And then with your pre-trips and your post-trips and your 30-minute breaks and stuff, you'll waste 34 hours. But when you go back, I mean, this is a fine line, because I drive my speed limit in my truck with none of my stuff on my truck, because I'm on my personal time, basically, in my opinion. I do have to log those hours back, because Wave wants you to log that back, that you're driving back, because they don't want you to have this gap in your logs where you delivered out here and then 4 days later you grabbed a load there. So by the time I get to Indiana, you can see when I get there, if I time it right and how, sometimes it turns into that 8th day or the 8.5 day before my reset, and then I go out and do it again. But when you have these months that are 31 days, a lot of times it works out, or you take different loads that are a little shorter, but you still get them numbers in at the end of the month. Now, February, a 28 month, no, that might not happen. But then you turn around and you do it all over again. So you can see that the most you're going to have in that 15-day span is going to be that leftover after fuel prices and stuff. You're going to have, well, if it was 38, you got 28 and 28, so you got $5,600, whatever it is. But okay, that's a bad, that's a bad month, $5,600. But so you got to work the whole month. You're not really taking no time off, and that's 10,000 something after your expenses. Now you got to make your house payment, pay your bills, your electric bill, your cell phone, all that stuff comes out of there. But you're running a business, then most of that stuff's deductible. You see where I'm going with that stuff? So, you work in a regular job. Are you got $10,000 in your bank account at the end of the month with your regular job, and you still got to make all those same bills that you can't write off on your taxes? This is where I go with this stuff. You either make it work, or this is not the job for you. That's as simple as I can tell you. When people say that I don't give you the full story, that's the full story. Right now, I'm working a good month. I'm working 2 awesome weeks, and I hope it stays that way. But I've had it where it's not. I've had it where it's been that worst month. But when I tell you in my videos that, I don't know, I survived this month. I put 10 grand in the bank. Yes, now I make my truck payment. I pay my insurance. The same, all the deductions and the stuff that I deduct off that you can't deduct off on a regular job. And you still end up paying all that money in that they take out of your check. And then all your overtime, they suck all your overtime up too. I mean, it's a never ending deal. But it's just life. It's life, right? So these are the numbers, the good numbers, the bad numbers. That's what I was trying to do in this video, is show you the best, show you the worst. I mean, I've had better than this, but this, right now, what I'm doing, I've stayed out here and just the whole damn month, and I made $25,000 that everybody said I didn't do. It's possible, but you gotta be on top of your game. You gotta pay attention. You gotta push everything, work everything. That's just the bottom line to this whole job. But I didn't get into this job for the numbers. I got this for the freedom in doing stuff, because I don't need that much money. At least right now I don't. Got a lot of changes coming up. I might need that much money, so that's another video. I hope these videos help you. But I want you to know what you're getting when you do use my name for referral. And you know it's all down in the description down below if you want to do it. That's as far as I got to go with that, because I got enough videos out there for you to know how that works. And you know how we end these videos, because I'm at my delivery. Always.